we pop on the screen, I realize how big my damn head is. There's like 6 fingers up in a joint. Hey, everybody.
There's a reason
Welcome
why
back.
we call you Doomer.
We're live. I can't say what I want to say. Hey, everybody. This is the Battle Bros podcast. Welcome back. It's Friday night, 9 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time. If you're joining us for the first time, hey, great to have you with us and great for you to join us. If you're coming back, glad you came back and checked it out again. That's awesome. This is Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. I'm Mac. This guy, Mr. Wise Ass over here, that's Alamo. He's usually my foil when it comes to cutting me down comedically, and he's usually right. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship. So
Pretty much.
Yeah. So for those of you that have been on our show, we do this show every week. Usually without fail. There's been some times where we've had to take some sabbaticals and breaks here and there. But yeah, this is what we do. We are a veteran lifestyle podcast. Veteran culture, veteran life, call it what you want to call it. It is what it is. But yeah, we just talk about all kind of fun stuff, serious stuff as well that are related to the veteran community. Hold on, closing all my tabs out here so my computer's not running uber slow. But yeah, so if you've caught us the last couple of weeks, we did a show 3 weeks ago. We talked about burnout. The week after that, we talked about mindset, which is a pretty good one. And then last week, we did the third installment of our V.I.P series, which is a veteran interview panel. We are going to be doing another installment of that in just a minute, but we're going to try to get you caught up on what's going on. Installment number 4, thank you. But yeah, if you folks didn't catch any of the social media, we did this really awesome event with our collaboratory sister channel. Flipside.
I would say so.
Yeah. We do collabs with them before. We've done a couple of collabs with them, which has been pretty fun. Flipside Mentorship. If you get a chance, check it out on YouTube and on Facebook. They are an awesome channel. They have a great message, and it's super cool. And we always end up having a blast going out there working with Tisha and the folks that do that. So, again, Tisha, thank you so much for having us be a part of that. That was wonderful. I don't blame you for it being so hot, because it was hot.
It was a nice sweltering Saturday is what it was.
But you take that event being in Orlando, you take that chance being in Orlando in the middle of the freaking state where there's no Gulf breeze. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, how you been, bro?
I've been freaking outstanding, man. I luckily, because I'm still, from time to time doing squats, I have not scratched my butt off like some people.
I didn't scratch my butt off. I got my ass chewed out so many times that it's just not there anymore. Okay. I can't even hear because I just hear whistling from your mouth and your nose.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all I hear.
That's amazing.
Oh, God.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, sorry. I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
that's
yeah.
that.
So, installment number 4.
Yeah. Are we ready to kick that off?
Yeah, I think so. This is a individual that I have gotten the honor to actually get to know. Really cool peoples. And I'll kind of let her do her thing and kind of explain her background on her term of service and everything else. Mako, you got a chance to actually meet her this Saturday at the Flipside event.
I met this wonderful person last weekend when we did our event with Flipside Mentorship, when we did our Battle Buddies event. She was one of our team coaches. So there was you, me, and there was this young lady, Melissa, who we're going to meet here in a minute. And it was a cool event. Like it was awesome. Like we actually had a bunch of kids that we took around and we did GPS points all over the botanical gardens we were at. They would get there and they'd have to stamp. We kind of sort of based this on it's called geocaching, I believe you called it.
Yeah, we based it on geocaching. The issue we had when trying to actually find the locations was that the location that we did the event at, unfortunately, had way too many of them in close proximity. So
we kind of had to adjust fire a little bit there.
we did. We had to adjust fire. So we kind of took what we did and adjusted and just kind of put points on a map for us using the the US.
Oh.
Blah, blah.
Hey Cynthia.
Hi. Yeah, I already.
Hi. I forgot to have that up. My bad.
Yeah, we did it via an app that uses essentially military style type maps. And
it's a really cool app that uses like the military grid reference system, the MGRS, or it's all called UTM, but it's basically what the app is called. And anyway, you can just go in there and figure out where you're at, and it'll just put a pin on it, and you can drop it, and you can navigate to all these different points. It's really cool, and it was clutch because we tried to get a military map made of this area, and that was problematic because of the fact that it was expensive, and it probably should have been done a little while ago instead of
Yeah. We made it work though.
We dropped the ball, so
we did.
Sorry. Anyway, but it worked out. Everything was great. But anyway, back to what we were saying. Melissa here was one of our team coaches. We had the kids broken up into 3 different groups. We're supposed to be 4, but there were 2 groups that were smaller. So
yeah.
Hey. But yeah. So the other gentleman that was there, me and him combined, and we just had a bunch of the kids together, and it was fun. You know, they kind of walked around and got them out into nature and stuff, and I know this guy over here was trying to catch and get a picture of all the monarch butterflies flying around. It's like, ooh, there's one right there. Hold still. It's pretty funny. I'm like, when did you become such a bug nerd? But it's all good.
It's mainly the cardinals that I was after.
Ah, yes.
Little red bastards. But
red bastards, like sound like some metaphor words.
Red bastards.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
so what do you ready to bring her on, dude? Let's do it, man.
Let's fucking do it, damn it.
We'll do it live. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you will welcome Melissa to our show. She's our interview for VIP number 4.
That's
We're
right.
Get her on and
3.
Give her the old Battle Bros welcome.
1.
Hi.
Hey. Melissa.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good stuff.
Oh my gosh, my son was doing this, and I was like, please, they have to hear me.
Just work. Yes. So
you guys are so funny.
Yeah, we try. This is a chance for us to just be. This is
ourselves.
Kind of this is a part of the week where I don't have to be professional. I can just go and be myself. And
You did forget to mention that team Navy Blue Neptune. Dang it! What was the name she came up with? Neptune Dragons.
I think it was.
We were the
Dragons.
Neptune Dragons.
Neptune Dragons. Yeah.
Which is really funny because I'm a Navy girl. So, we came in second. That was awesome.
I had all the little kids, so I came in last, but I knew I wasn't gonna win. So it's like.
But then again, I was going against Manny too, and we all know he's very athletic.
Number 1.
Oh my gosh!
It was actually number 1 right there.
Wait, is that allowed?
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so we've kind of established. So we've kind of established with this channel that it's a veteran lifestyle channel. Yeah. So we're gonna get away. We stay away. We don't get too far into the political stuff. It's gonna get brought up, but also if you got some salty language,
well,
bring it.
Bring it. Bring it, son. Yeah.
I mean, everybody compares it to a sailor's mouth.
That is absolutely true.
This is already getting off to a good start. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Melissa, before we
sailor, jeez,
it's like, just thank you.
Yeah.
Because nobody says you swear like a coastie.
No.
Nobody says that. So, Melissa, before we get started, thank you so much for taking the time and agreeing to be on our show. We greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Oh, crap. You can actually see the sides of my backdrop over here. It's like, oh, my God.
I know. I was wondering what was going on with there. I thought I was going to see a Buddha. I didn't know what to
No.
expect.
That's
This
okay.
is-
My
the
office
cat
is
That's
picture that
normally when I
my-
see a gold backdrop, when I get my nails done, there's a Buddha. And there's an apple in front of the Buddha. And that's when I see a gold backdrop. So
I just got reminded of Angela Johnson, the comedian. Do you want some more gel for your nail?
Oh my god.
So good.
Do you want some more gel for your nail?
You don't have boyfriend? That's because you have no gel on your nail. Angela Johnson. If you haven't seen Angela Johnson stand up, folks,
Oh yeah.
You're doing yourself a disservice. Like it is.
Oh, okay, honey. You didn't get your nail done. You gotta go.
Let's not get too far in the weeds. We haven't even started this thing yet.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Sorry. We gotta get to questions.
All right, so we're just gonna jump right into this, Mel. So, so we already kind of figured out the name part. So, yeah, your name is Mel.
Indeed.
Hi.
Whore.
Where are you from originally? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? All that good stuff.
So I was born in Amityville, New York.
Okay.
Same time frame as the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a true story. So I was born in 76, so I'm pretty old.
The
And then
fails.
Can I agree to disagree on that?
Well, considering I'm older than you, I don't know if you really can disagree.
I mean, I got all this gray coming in right here. I'm like the silver-headed gorilla over here. So oh, good.
That has nothing to do with age. That has to do with wisdom.
There you go.
Just saying.
Man, if I had a chick like this, man, I'd rule the damn world. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. And I admit I'm wrong at least twice a day. Anyway.
Awesome.
I went from Amityville, and then my parents I guess they got scared. And then they moved into the Bronx. Which
you don't say. Got scared in
a
Amityville.
little scarier, I
That
think.
happens. Like,
Yeah. Just a little bit.
So I moved to the Bronx, and then
So okay, let me
they
interrupt because
moved-
me being the non Cynthia, I'm older. Oh, what was that? What was that damn? Oh God, the Stephen Lynch song. Never mind. I'll think of it later. Anyway,
Goes too far. I mean, wait, what? No, wrong one.
explain the whole mentality, like especially when you're from the city, just the borough. Like I know both of you guys are from the Bronx, so like you got the Bronx, you got BK, you got Brooklyn, all that stuff. Like, what is it? It's like it's not even a location. It's just like social group identity. Explain that to me as best you can to somebody who's not from the city. And go.
It's just its own way of life. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. It's nothing compares to it. I don't care what city you're from, Chicago, different boroughs in New York. It's their own. It's like its own state.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. And it's like you say, if like you meet somebody else that's from the Bronx, you're like, okay, so you know.
Yeah, we have our own dialects.
Yeah.
We have our own lingo. Yeah.
We have our own vernacular and syntax.
For example,
Oh,
there's
boy.
a street
Hit me
in the
with something
Bronx.
good.
There's a street in the Bronx called, as less New York-y folk would call it, Knickerbocker. No. In the Bronx, we call that Knickerbocker.
That's
Okay.
right.
Knickerbocker, it's Knickerbocker.
There's no ERs. Everything is an
No.
A.
Yeah.
Knickerbocker. So we
Knickerbocker.
just don't
Okay.
know how to pronounce. Pretty
Yeah.
much, we just
Pretty
flow.
much.
It's just so fast paced that we just decided to cut the ER and just put an A at the end.
Pretty much.
And that's something I hear a lot of people that are either have lived in the city or are from the city and grew up there or whatnot. They come down to somewhere like this and they're just like, why is it so slow here?
It's ridiculous.
Everybody's
I have to
taking
slow
their
down.
time. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I was asked to repeat myself. Some people went as far as saying, "Is that Spanish?
Oh Lord.
Is that Spanish?" Yeah. hmm
Oopsie.
I cannot
Okay.
believe that.
So Okay, so you were in the city for how long? You grew. When did you move?
I was
to you when you were young. You moved to the city when you were
right.
young.
I was like,
Okay.
I don't know, 2.
Okay.
And then they moved me out when I was 12. And then I went to Long Island.
Ah, Long Island. Okay.
Which is its
My
own state.
yes. My grandmother on my dad's side was from Montauk. She
Mhm.
grew up
That's the
out there.
southest point.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, I'm a little familiar with that. So yeah. So how would you describe yourself when you were a kid, Mel? What were you like? Were you kind of were you
I was
bookwormy? Were you outdoorsy?
It's
Like
a
what are
whole
you?
world in the city,
Yeah, I saw that.
no doubt.
okay. Everyone thought I was going to be a lawyer. I always interrogated. I always asked a lot of questions. When I was 7, I
That
went
makes
up
a
and
lot of
down.
sense now that I've met you last weekend. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, we could do this, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
She's good, folks. She's good. She's made. She's good. She's good. Absolutely. Awesome.
When I was
Indeed.
7 years old, I grabbed a clipboard and I went up and down my street, which here, the street is nothing. There's like 20 streets compared to one street in New York.
Yeah.
So I lived in a pretty decent street at the time before it got all crazy. But there was drug dealers that moved in all the way up the block on the right-hand side. I lived on the left-hand side, they lived on the right. I had a petition going, having everyone in the neighborhood sign to get rid of them.
And
At
you were
7.
how old at the time? 7.
Wow.
We have drug dealers now. They need to get out of our neighborhood. Can you please sign this petition so I can give it to whoever I need to give it to get them out? That was me.
Cynthia said Long Island is a whole different animal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because Long Island's not in the city, though.
No.
No.
No. It's literally its own island.
Right.
Hence
Mhm.
Long Island.
Right.
So what are the boroughs? You got Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan,
Bronx, Brooklyn,
Manhattan, Queens,
Queens,
and Staten Island.
So Long Island isn't technically a borough. It's
No.
just
No.
off to the side. Okay.
It's just
Just
it's
the
kind of
side, surrounded by water.
Bronx. So you got Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and
Staten Island.
Okay. And you guys are both familiar with Knickerbocker Street.
Knickerbocker Street.
I'm learning the lingo here. It's fantastic. All right. So yeah, okay. That kind of gives me some more information now that I've met you from last week about that stuff. So yeah. Okay. Petitions. Hi. You selling Gurkha cookies? No, I've got a petition to get these deadbeat sons of bitches out of here. Will you sign?
That was me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so next question I have for you. So, when was the first time you considered joining the military?
We had recruiters going to the high schools.
Okay.
And they offered, the GI Bill.
The world, yeah.
They told the recruiter I had was kind of shady.
A shady recruiter? Oh shit! Say it ain't so. You mean the Oscars are political?
Yeah, like if I tell you what I did, I probably will get in trouble. So I'm not going to bring it up today. I'll tell you some other time. But anyway, she was very shady. And, I saw the car that she had. She was only a few years older than me. So I thought, oh, that's going to be me. And then I was like, I don't know. I don't want to fight in a war.
Let me pump the
I
brakes.
don't want to get killed. So I was like, I still have my whole life to live. I'm only 18. So then I decided to go to college.
So if you were born in 76, you were probably in high school. You probably graduated about 96? 94.
94.
Okay.
But thanks, giving me, making me a little younger. I graduated in 94.
That's what I do.
Yeah, very, very flattering, very flattering.
So you would have joined.
So anyway, I joined.
Yeah, you would have joined during
storm.
Right after the storm. So that's when everybody's kind of drawing down and all that kind of stuff. Okay, just giving it some context here. So please continue. Yeah. Sorry.
In case you're wondering what we're talking about, folks, for those of you guys that are not military or veterans or whatever, when we say the storm, we mean Desert Storm.
And one of the big things that happened after the conclusion of Desert Storm was there was a big drawdown in the military. Like we were actually talking about this.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about this last week when I was at your place there,
with
Alamo.
Chuck. Yeah,
with Chuck. So there, after Desert Storm ended, like in the Army, we went from 24 active duty divisions down to 10, which is a significant amount of drawdown. People just saying, "Hey, thanks."
Yeah.
Which, did you hear they're actually standing up a new division? They're standing up. So Army Alaska is going to become the 11th Airborne Division. So they're going to change all of that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's an airborne unit up there when I was in basic, and they were going to send me out there initially when I was going to airborne school. But once they took it from me, I didn't go there. So
right. So I think it was 4th Brigade of 25th ID is up there because it's Tropic Lightning with the airborne tab on it. But so they're going to change that, and it's going to be the 11th Airborne and whatnot. So anyway,
oh snap!
You froze there, dude. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Here. Oh snap! And then he froze.
Yeah.
So,
at least it wasn't with like a bad face. You're like.
Exactly. So we'll just continue on. He'll jump back in a minute. So we've had this happen before where the power cut out. So okay. So.
Oh yeah.
So you had a recruiter. Now, was this a Navy recruiter or was it another?
It was a Navy recruiter, and that was the other thing. It was like, okay, she was, trying to, you're in the Navy, you're not in the front line. She was telling me about the different jobs they offer. It just depends how well you do on the ASVAB, is what she told me.
Yeah.
She's like, you're pretty bright. I'm sure you can pick whatever you want to do. So she's just telling me everything I want to hear. Well, at that point,
loading you up. You're just like, yeah. And you're just like,
yeah. So then I kept in contact with her. She didn't give up on me, but I started a semester of college. Well, I was partying. So I didn't want to go back and tell my dad that the community college that he paid $3,000 for me to go for that semester. Yeah, he lost all his money because I flunked out. So what I did was I got on the bus and I went to, why am I drawing a blank?
Because I'm asking you about it. That's what happens all the time. It's fine.
I went to
Great Lakes.
where you get. No, I went to where you go to get
MEPS.
Sworn in.
MEPS.
I went to MEPS. Yeah. So I had different people coming, and I saw more girls than guys, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna be all right," because of course I don't want to die. So this was my thought process. So I was 18.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So I go to MEPS. I do fine. I take the ASVAB. And I get corpsman. That's how well I did on my ASVAB. So I'm like, great, I'll work in the hospital. I love helping people. I'll do it.
So from judging from that statement, like that's something you have to score like a pretty well score on to get that job rating in the Navy.
Correct. I think it can be below a 55 or something like that. I don't remember, but so I picked that. Well, at that time they had enough corpsmen going in. So I had to wait, which was fine because I got sworn in, I think, in February.
Mm-hmm.
April, the day after Easter in 1995, I told my dad I flunked, but I joined the Navy and I'm leaving tomorrow.
Okay. Like, just so you know, there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Right. So
Smart.
I said what I needed to say, and I looked at him and I was like, I swore in, Dad, I can't. This is government. I gotta go. You sure? You thought about it? He had no idea that I was even thinking about it. So
see, this is like literally dropping an anvil in his lap. Like, hey.
Yeah. He's like, where are you going? And I was like, where do all New Yorkers go? Great Lakes. Because, depending on what state you're from, is what boot camp you go to.
Right.
So Great Lakes is in Illinois. And I went in April. So it wasn't freezing.
Good call.
Yeah. And
so what else did they have besides? Because I only ever knew of Great Lakes. So where do you go besides that? There's one in Orlando.
They actually had one in Jacksonville that they closed down.
Jacksonville. Okay.
And they have one in San Diego.
So, okay, San Diego. So that's for folks like in the western part of the country, I would imagine.
Coast, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. So let me ask you this, Mel. Did you want to do corpsman? Did you have another job in mind that you were looking at, or was it pretty much like that's what you had your mind set on? You got it. You're like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, the way that she said the things that I would be doing, what I would be learning, um, that she never mentioned how hard C school was going to be, though. Good Lord Jesus! But I was very interested in the helping people,
Sure.
and I knew that I was the type of person to ask enough questions, and if I was really interested, I'd catch on and I'd do fine. So I was very comfortable at 18 going to the medical field.
Okay. So you left in April of '95.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how long was boot camp? 8-9 weeks.
Boot camp was 10 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Now,
Okay.
in boot camp, every 2 weeks you get a test. And if you fail the test twice, you get put back 2 weeks. So I had girls. Oh, hi!
Damn.
I'm glad you find me interesting enough to come back.
That's like lightning.
Again, dude. Any that's happened before, Mel. Like he got the house got
Second
struck by
time.
lightning
I'm
or something.
surprised
That's
mine
like,
didn't. We're like 20 minutes away from each other, so I'm
that's
surprised
right.
mine
Yeah,
didn't
that's
do it either.
Nah.
I'm in Tampa. It rained earlier. No problem. Anyway, so
That
we
is
were
the
just.
city of weirdos.
Oh yeah.
I knew an Uber driver who had stories galore about Tampa people.
Hi, I'm that guy. They're not
So,
weird. They're just abstract and entertaining.
Yes.
That's a polite way of saying it, just so
Yes.
you know.
Absolutely.
Let's not typecast all those people because some of them are funny, some of them are weird, and some of them are just like the fuck. So, all right.
Some of them are all three.
Yeah, you're not lying. Okay, so you left in '93. So boot camp was 10 weeks, and that's something I found interesting about, like in the Army, it's not the same thing, especially because in the Navy you're more identified as your rate. Here in the Army it's like you're a sergeant, okay, whereas you are a hospitalman. Yeah, you're like a hospitalman third class. That rate and rank and stuff is kind of all combined together. So there's a lot more. There's a lot more technical aptitude that is, raised and encouraged to flourish and grow and all that kind of stuff. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. So, okay, so you kind of went into the corpsman field. So how long was your like AIT? What do they call it in the Navy? Like when you go to your job specific training?
C school.
C school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How
so
long
we have
was that?
We have A school and C school.
Okay.
No, I'm confused. I got married in the military, and my husband was a pharmacy tech, so that's more of a specialty off of hospitalman. So he went to C school. I went to A school. A school. That's what it's called.
Okay. So you have boot, and then you have A school.
A school.
Okay. So how long was your A school when you were in the Navy? I imagine corpsman, it's a while.
It was about the same time.
About 10 weeks?
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's not bad.
Maybe 12. Maybe 12.
So like 3 months, give or take. That's
Yeah.
It's not a quiz. We're just asking general questions here. It's okay.
I'm trying to remember. It's terrible. It's so long ago.
It's all good.
But yeah, so I went to A school, and A school was in Great Lakes, so I just went across the street.
There you go.
And but let me get back to boot camp. So all of a sudden, there's more girls coming out. We have to go back more. When I got to boot
Let's Tarantino this shit. Let's go back.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm on the bus. I got off the airplane. Everybody's joking. Guys are flirting with girls. Nobody knows what to expect at boot camp. We get on the bus. Everybody's still talking, flirting. As soon as you get off, they are yelling at you. So I felt like boot camp was going to be kind of like Stripes, Bill Murray and Stripes. I was like,
nice.
oh, this is going to be fun. guys.
Meanwhile, in the back of your head,
No.
you're doing that internet meme. It was at this point they realized they fucked up. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So not
I
only
had a
was I
very
scared
similar
shitless when I got off the
experience.
bus,
Yeah.
but I was the last girl in my division. So every division has 80 girls. So there were girls waiting a week for all of us to form into 80 to move on through boot camp.
So as people would arrive, they would get like the next 80 people. Boom, there you go. Set them off.
Right.
So they would just sit there.
So because, like you said, after Desert Storm, there was kind of a drought. There was girls waiting a week because they were the first one of the division, and they're waiting for the 80th girl to show up. So everybody knew how to stencil their towels. Everybody knew the routine. I didn't. So I'm trying to figure it out. No one was nice about it because they're already fucking frustrated about waiting a week. Because you're going to boot camp, you want to hurry up and get it done.
And they ain't trying to be your new underway buddy or nothing.
No, there was nobody trying to make friends. It was like, get with the program, learn your shit, and hurry up. We gotta go. So I'm using somebody else's towel to shower because I didn't have mine stenciled. And this bitch comes up to me and she's ready to punch me. She's got one long hair because the barber jacked up her hair when she cut it. I mean, it was a hot mess. I got on the top bunk. Okay. I had a better figure, so I could fit on the top bunk. But anyway, crying. Happy-go-lucky Melly was crying. What the fuck did I get myself into?
Yep.
That was first day of boot camp.
So listen, everybody at home. It's not just you. We all went through that shit. Okay?
Yes.
Right.
I don't know why.
Indeed.
I don't know why I'm popping my head back and forth like I'm from Bronx or something. Like, girl, let me tell you something. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Mira,
I know.
Mira, listen. Mira.
Oh my gosh. Too much.
My people's here. This is my tribe. Love it.
But funny enough, I became a section leader. They only picked 8 girls to lead. You had 10 in each group. So I learned quick, kept my mouth shut, obeyed, did what they said, kept up, and I became a section leader.
So that's a good segue into the next question I want to ask you. So, what kind of expectations and fears did you have? The fears you kind of mentioned just now, saying like everybody gets off the bus, next thing you know, they're yelling at me. I don't know what I'm doing. I messed up. What kind of expectations did you have? What fears besides that? Elaborate on that a little bit if you could.
Yeah. So we already went over the fear. The expectation was that I was going to be 80 girls. We're going to march together. We're going to learn the same stuff. We're going to get trained on how military people are supposed to be. That was my expectation. Okay. So to transform from this 18-year-old party girl to actually being disciplined, leading 10 other girls, which, by the way, there's like 10 shower heads. We all have to take a shower at the same time. That was very fearful because half of them were gay, which, hey, by all means, just don't look at me. And they were covering themselves and showering in front of each other. Like sunflowers with the middle portion of the flower, and we're all little petals on this one shower head, and you guys don't mind that. Shut up. You're gross. I don't go into detail about the shower.
I didn't say nothing. I'm sorry.
I hate you right now.
It's like, hey guys, look, eggs over easy.
Okay. And there's no doors. There's no doors in the bathroom. Wait, you guys didn't have this? You got to take private showers?
No, it was something similar. Like, so when I went to boot camp in 2003.
Yeah.
And they had open showers. But like when I was up at Camp Blanding, which is the National Guard training base up in North Florida, you're in old school. They have these like cinder block buildings that were internment barracks for Japanese and German POWs. So you had like one pipe coming off with 4 heads, and then you sit there. You're just like, you just spent 2 weeks out in the field with these clowns. And you're just like, oh, that's a nice ceiling right there. Drop your soap. I guess I'm done. Done. And yeah.
So you only had 4 guys to one shower head.
To quote a popular TV show from the 90s, homie don't play that. So
when we were in Germany,
so you didn't shower. Got it.
No, I know I showered, but like I would. When I first joined, I was very insecure. I was young, and I would just go at a later time, just like let everybody go in there because there, I was very shy and reserved, and you had all these guys like my platoon, because you had 4 platoons in a company, and my platoon had all the guys that had like airborne and then ranger contracts. Because I was in 3rd platoon, Delta 254, so one platoon had like all the airborne only guys, and this was guys that were going to like all the guys that had airborne and ranger contracts were in this platoon. So they're all like these like cocky sons of bitches just walking around like, I'm gonna be a ranger. It's like, you ain't made it yet, dude. Like, we're in boot camp. You still gotta go to the next 2 schools, so why don't you just calm the fuck down?
Yeah, exactly.
And slow roll your shit. How about it? So but yeah, so like it was just like it was open shower heads. Like you had dividers in between them, but it was just like you had like so many on a wall looking across over here, so you could just turn around and have a conversation. You're just like north of the border, north of the border, north. Of the border. Yeah. You're just because I wasn't an athlete in high school. Like I did ROTC, I did marching band and stuff. Like I didn't play sports at all, so that was kind of a bit of a culture shock for me. But
here's the thing. When we were in Germany, we had open showers too. There were no dividers. I believe it was
Cynthia. Men. I just hear the sound of just men. Thanks, Cynthia. Appreciate you calling me out on here.
The showers, the way we had them set up, because I think this was in Grafenwehr training. This was in the Grafenwehr training area or something. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was a big freaking room. And like I picture like this being like I almost pictured it like almost like being like Auschwitz, like how the freaking people were inside there taking showers, like all facing one direction on each side of the wall.
It's been 80 years, bro. Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Too soon. So anyway, so we all had our wall, and like everybody's just like, and we can see each other like, and like we're like that far from each other. Like that far from, and we're just sitting there like, yep, So it's like, hey, wait a minute, guess what? Go.
What did Cynthia say? What did she say about that?
She didn't say anything. She just went, ugh, men. I can just hear the sound of dejection in her voice. So you're gonna need it, Mel. You're gonna need to go back and watch one. I think it's like our 3rd episode where we talk. So it was when we first joined. I actually talked about this dude named Webb. Everybody called him Spidey. I'll just tell the story again. This is a funny story. So this guy, you have the whole barracks bay, the whole platoon bay, and there's a spot in the middle that nobody walks. It's called the kill zone. That's drill sergeants only that go there. So when they tell you to toe the line, everybody, the 2 guys that are in those racks come out, stand in front of the racks, parade rest, all that stuff. So Webb's already in the shower, cleaning his ass and stuff. So drill sergeant's like, who the fuck is in my shower screaming stuff? So he goes to turn the corner, and Webb comes out, and he's got a towel around his waist, and he snaps the parade rest, and the towel falls, and the drill sergeant says, Webb, cover your ass. So he goes to bend over and pick up the towel. He says, I only got to worry about 2 inches, drill sergeant. And we're all just sitting here at parade rest, just like trying not to have our heads explode. And drill sergeant just looks up, kind of smirks. He goes, all right, as you were. I'm good. He just walked out. We all just were crying. I was like, holy shit. It was amazing.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So you ended up being a section leader and stuff.
Right.
You graduated from A school, so like 3 months later. So if you went in April, 10 weeks, so we'll say, so it was probably
about
later in the year.
September, October. Yeah.
September. Okay, so it's starting to get chilly.
So around fall, yeah.
Starting to get chilly up there in Great Lakes. Okay, so where was your first duty station?
So I was supposed to go to North Carolina.
Okay.
Because everyone who did well in A school got to pick, your 3 spots you want to go. And everyone picked the hospitals, But there was this one guy who was nice enough to let me have Bethesda. Because I knew that at the time, my husband... No. Did I marry? No. yeah, my boyfriend at the time, who became my husband, was stationed in Portsmouth, Virginia, in the Naval Hospital there.
Okay.
So I knew if I got Bethesda, that I would be close enough. So he switched with me, and I got Bethesda, Maryland, which
Okay.
was the National Naval Medical Center in Bethesda, President's Hospital, which is now the Walter Reed National Military Hospital. So
National
I
Military
just
Medical
went back
Center,
to
yeah.
DC to take my son because he wanted to go to DC this summer, and I was like, "What is going on here?" Like
It's
20
not
years later, it's
Bethesda.
completely different. It's not Bethesda, but the train station says Bethesda National Naval Medical Center. So yeah,
It's okay, Melly. My original duty stations changed too. Like I used to be at Fort Lewis. Now it's Joint Base Lewis McChord. So
yeah, crazy. Just
it
shows our
changes,
age, bro.
man. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
So afterwards, I get and I work the pre-op post-op ward.
okay. So you're
So
kind of like a pre-op tech.
Nice.
yeah, and post. Mhm.
Did you end up going on any like deployments, like where you were on a ship, on any like I guess?
No,
So you were
we were assigned. The hospital was assigned to a ship. So if anything happened, we go leave the hospital. We go on that ship. But I never was
Gotcha.
on a ship and did corpsman stuff on a ship. No, I did. Um, I did. I did get married shortly after, and then I got pregnant right after that. So I worked maternity the whole time. And when I served in that hospital, Princess Diana, because they just finished the pediatric wing, Princess Diana came and walked that ward.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't get to see her because there was so much security, but she walked that ward.
Nice.
Cynthia's still sending emojis over here, like just like laughing at us, going,
Yep.
"Clowns, damn clowns." Okay,
So,
so you never
yeah.
actually were on any type of vessel or ship or anything, just strictly at the hospital.
No.
Okay. So, there weren't any deployments at that time, so we can probably not answer that question either. So, what kind of accomplishments did you have while you were in? Did you go to any certain schooling, like follow-on schools? Did you go to any like leadership courses or anything like that? Or what are some things that you did that you were kind of proud of?
I started college again,
Okay.
but with the pregnancy, I couldn't. And I actually didn't stay in long. I got honorable discharge because at that time, they didn't want to work with our schedules. So it would be like I was during the day and he was at night, and we wouldn't see each other and we wouldn't see the baby together. So I decided to get out for my daughter.
Gotcha.
So how long were you in total in the Navy?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
So you were IR. So then you were IRR for like the next 5, then, if that's the case, right?
Get out of my head, dude. Jesus.
Okay.
We get ready to answer the same damn question. So, okay, so you got out and all that stuff. What did you get out as? Were you E3, E4?
I was an E3.
E3. So you were a seaman.
A hospitalman.
Hospitalman. Sorry, that's the
okay.
generic rate. My bad.
Yeah, the designation.
Okay, so was it a tough transition out of the military?
No, because I was stay-at-home mom because he was still in the military. But he got orders to Key West. So we moved to Key West and stayed on base.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, except for the smell of mangroves. Ugh. Ugh. All over.
Smell of mangrove?
Have you smelled them?
There's
smell like
mangroves
rotten
out here on Gandy Boulevard. I mean, yeah, I've lived in Tampa my whole life. Like you drive across Gandy, and there's other things that happen out in the mangroves.
It was just like,
Gandy.
woof. As soon as you.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the things I remember of Key West. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, going back, I went to Fish Memorial in Orange City, which is now something else because they were bought out. And I got the phlebotomy position. And I was going to pursue it and go back to do RN at that point because I really liked working pre-op, post-op. But if you don't have any licensing in the civilian world, they will not let you do anything. So I would have to, even though I had all the experience, I couldn't do anything. And I was administrating medication on the wards. I was responsible for all that, and I couldn't use it. So
You see, and that's something else.
That's crazy.
That's something else I find interesting too. It's like you have a better chance of having a career or a job description that's going to carry over into the civilian world, usually in the Navy or the Air Force, just because of the type of technical expertise or whatnot. Yeah, you might have to do some follow-on stuff, but it's like, you go to apply for, like we were talking
and
about.
I really couldn't. I couldn't pursue it,
right?
Because right after I got out, I was in the process of getting divorced. So I was single mom.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so, wow, you kind of took off a lot of the questions in this questionnaire, so I was like, just skip that one.
It's okay, I don't mind.
It's all good. Okay, so, so you are now a single mom. You're divorced. So, what did you end up going back to school? What did that look like? How hard was that?
I was 38. My daughter was already 17. My youngest was 11. And I just finished this year. So 8 years. But I have an associate's in health administration. Okay. So anywhere in the hospital, I can do coding. I can do anything having to do with paperwork with for hospitals and clinics or anything like that.
Administrative.
So administrative stuff, right? I just finished that this year.
Congrats! Yay!
Yay!
So okay, so let me ask you this question. This is kind of a little bit of a curveball. So, what would you say that you took from the military that you could apply to your civilian life, career, all that kind of stuff?
Discipline. I love when I see these stupid ass people calling out sick. Like, we had to be fever on our deathbed to get to take off work.
Mm-hmm.
And I see
you got a broken arm? Oh, here's some Motrin. Drink water.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I had the worst flu where I had chills and everything, and I still had to go get seen, get it approved, and then I was able to go home. And I see these kids call out, and I'm like, and multitasking.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody has anxiety because they can't handle two things at once.
It's like we were talking last week, Alamo, with Withers, how he was sitting there driving, and he had the damn plugger, and he's like, driving, GPS navigating. Like, oh, right there. Go read the thing off that. Yeah, it's like it's just old school, And it's funny too because Melissa, I think you can really. I'm hoping you can kind of vouch for this statement, but it's like the longer you're out of the military, you can associate with a lot of these old timers that just look at younger people in the military and you're like, you ain't shit. Like, I understand, and I have a newfound appreciation for the movie Gran Torino with
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Like, absolutely. You get it. You just like...
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Like, at 24, I had a 4-year-old, $2,000 income check, and a backpack. And I moved to Florida by myself. She can't even handle making her lunch.
This is your daughter?
Yeah.
Not that we're throwing anybody under the bus.
I can't relate to her because she panics over having 2 or 3 things to do at once. What?
Is this the young lady that was at the event with us last week?
Yes. She's awesome.
Yeah.
But she can't multitask.
Macho, stop.
I love her to death, but I cannot. And it's the military. It's the military that's.
Yeah.
You got to get good at a lot of things.
It makes you kind of zero in and like you're able to multitask because you're focusing on one main thing, but it's hard to explain. Like you're focusing on one main thing, but in the back of your mind, you got, okay, I got to do this and I got to do this and I got to do this and this. but I'm focusing on this. And then all of a sudden you just kind of bounce from task to task, and then it all just kind of comes together.
And you know what else I noticed?
What's that?
Military people have just a clearer, more disciplined way of seeing things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't like to say people are stupid, but my God, it's like who am I around? Like, how do you not see this? How do you react like this? How do you handle it this way? Like,
so it's funny you say that. So like, you know, I worked in retail for about 10 years, for a while, you know, and Alamo here worked with me at one of those places, and it was great because we had a lot of in our kind of like our department, the island, yeah. We had a lot of military guys, and it's like it was great because we just understood each other. You know, like you understood
misfit toys.
Yes, the island of misfit toys. Like we had John, we had a bunch of other people that just were there, and it's like we had different backgrounds: Army, Air Force, Marines, whatever. And especially when we first opened that place too, we had so many people there that were all military, and it was great, you know, because we all just like had our. And it was, you could just rib each other and just like, you know, like our good buddy Jose, you know, when he started working there, I was sitting there joking with this one kid, one guy that works there, and we were talking, and you could tell like Jose was wanting to get in on it, and Jose was a fire control technician on submarines. So the guys on subs are a little bit, you know, I understand that the guys on subs are a little bit like it takes a special kind of person to do that, like mentally, I have a special kind of mindset and whatnot. So Jose's sitting here, and this guy Jacob and I were sitting there joking, and Jose was like, "Hey, we should play this game on the submarine." I'm like what? Hide the torpedo? And he just goes, "Oh." It's just like you could make that kind of joke and nobody got hurt. He's like, "Shut up, Fogger." He just give each other a bunch of shit, and it's great. You know, it's just funny. But I mean, my second job, I was a department head, and all the people the majority of people that worked for me were guys that were military. I had a guy that ended up, he was an Army Ranger, another guy that was a Marine infantryman. He also did security forces, which is a pretty cool gig. Another guy was a Marine engineer. Had one guy who started off as a ordnance loader for aircraft in the Air Force, then ended up switching over to become a security forces. Like, you just got each other. You know, you could have 4 different people. You could have an Army guy from Fort Riley, Kansas. You could have a Navy person from out in Honolulu. You could have a Marine from Lejeune, and you could have an airman who's stationed in Diego Garcia. They're going to have 4 completely different jobs, 4 completely different experiences, but enough of that common stuff there is enough that you understand each other. And it's like, there's a lot to be said for that, you know? It's like
it's an excellent work ethic.
Yes.
You know? And it flows, it's disciplined, and it works.
And especially for folks,
because this is about to die. 1 second.
She's got to get a plug.
This is how we do it, folks. We do it live, man.
We do it live, baby.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Ooh, absolutely.
Is that still enough light?
Yes.
I had to turn off the light to charge the bat. Oh, it's still
fine.
Not. Okay, we'll try.
That's fine. It works.
So, kind of moving on, going ahead. So kind of getting to the last portion of it, the reflective portion of the questions that we sent you. What do you miss from the military?
I felt that no matter where I went, I was taken care of.
Okay.
You know, like there was a hospital. I had my money. I had my place to live. Like all the bases were covered. I didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I miss that.
The structure.
Right. And the fact that everybody knew what they were supposed to do, and everybody had to do it the same. And
everybody got trained to the same standard. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I miss that. Um, I miss seeing new things.
Okay.
I mean, I did have one duty station, but you have to remember, I also had leave. So I got to go wherever I wanted to go on my leave. And it was nice, being 20 years old, 21 years old. I had money in my pocket. I wanted to fly somewhere. I went. I just missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question I have is, would you do it all over again?
Absolutely. And I would
Okay.
stay in longer.
Okay.
I
So
would retire. I would have been retired, 20 years retired by now.
yeah, that was my next question. So would you change anything? You'd stay in longer and
Yep.
do a full stint. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the last,
And at that point, because of the way my mind frame was at 18 to now and the things that I've learned, the fear of dying, I took the tape test to become a cop.
mm-hmm.
I passed it. But at that time, they wanted to give me $10 an hour. And I got offered 15 somewhere else. If not, I would have been a police officer.
Yeah.
So
you would have been
I had my
funniest.
daughter.
You would have been the funniest damn cop. I swear. I'd have been in handcuffs. I'd have done something stupid, been in the backseat of handcuffs, going, you know what? I fucked up, but she's funny as hell.
Oh, you haven't seen me upset, honey. You haven't seen me upset.
Oh yeah, that would have been good. Okay, so last question around this whole thing out, kind of bring it back full circle.
Okay.
So, what wisdom or advice would you have for? And this is a two-part question. Okay, I'm going to try to throw a curveball here. What wisdom or advice would you have for people that are wanting to go into the service nowadays? I'll ask that first, let you answer it, and then I'll do the second part. So what wisdom or advice would you have for people wanting to go into the service in the future?
Because the world is so fast-paced.
Insert Jeopardy theme here. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Because the world is so fast-paced, I almost think that it should be mandatory to serve.
So kind of like how some European countries do it, where you have to serve either the government or the military for a couple of years.
Or some Middle East states, i.g. Israel.
Yeah.
Because think about it. We have social media now.
Yeah.
We have all these different types of video games where these kids go into this world and they lose track of being realistic. Everything is fantasy. Like my son, he drove the truck. He drove the truck the other day. And he hasn't got his license. He's going to get his license on Friday. And he stopped short, and me and my daughter, we were asleep because we're tired. He's driving. Why not? He's going to get his license soon. I should trust that he could get us home. He was so stressed out. He goes, I'm just going to get a chauffeur. I'm sorry, what? You have to get a job? You don't even want to work at McDonald's because you're worried about the grease and getting acne. Like their concept of reality is warped. They need to be smacked into reality. So I think that they should serve at least 2 years.
Yeah.
So they could change their perspective and understand this is the world we live in, and you need to be prepared because high school's not doing it. I don't care what course they offer, home ec or whatever, it doesn't cut it. These kids are thrown out there and they have no clue.
Okay, so before I get to the second part, I'm gonna do a follow on to that. So, what would you say to that? Because you have folks nowadays, like we've had this conversation, Alamo and I have had this conversation where you have people that are in the military that don't want to be there, and they have that expression, false motivation is better than no motivation at all. Yeah. And I consider that to be something that's a very dangerous assumption because if a person doesn't want to be there, namaste, the fuck over there. Seriously, I don't need you around. So what would you say to that, for the folks that for 2 years, I mean, because let's face it, there was I'm reminded of something that happened that's happened quite a few times that I actually wrote a story. I forget where I read the story, but it was talking about service members that were going and commissioning into the Air Force to be nurses. So to go in and like either it's probably like a 3-year contract. So for the first 2 years, you're not only getting, you know, training and getting accustomed to military culture and life and being an officer. You know, you're a butter bar, but still you're an officer. But you're learning how to be a nurse, and then that 3rd year, you have these people that are just like have no concept, like they're doing everything they can to get burned out, or not burned out, but just to get you know, recycled out, because they're sitting there, you know, mouthing off to superior commissioned officers saying, "Oh, I'm not really going to do it like that," and they're just like, and they're doing it because they've got $90,000+ signing bonus in their hand, or however much it was. That's probably not even close to right, but I'm just giving an example. They've got X amount of dollars in their hand, burning a hole in their pocket. They've got a nursing degree, and they did it in kind of a way that's a little bit shifty, you know?
Yeah.
So that would be my only. I agree with you. You know, having that dose of reality is crucial nowadays, especially
Oh yeah.
in this day and age. But at
I
the
mean,
same
Facebook,
time,
Instagram. I mean, come on.
yeah. But then you go and do something like that, and it's just like, that's a little bit sketchy. So
Well, they're expressing that they don't want to be there, right? They're
Yeah.
expressing, what is this doing for me? But subconsciously, it did what it needed to do to me.
right. And
Yeah.
I
It
also
still
think that's
showed
just
them
a sign of the
discipline. They're not going
times.
to realize. They're not going to realize that it's almost like when you drive a car. You don't have to look at the road the whole time. You can look around, and I don't think they realize how much of effect that it gave them, even though they didn't want to be there. It still molded them some kind of way that's better than not being in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I can see that point.
yeah. So on to my second part of that question. So what wisdom / advice would you go back and give to yourself, to a younger version of yourself, before you joined the military?
I would tell myself that you
This is
have
gonna be
no
so
idea.
good.
You have no idea, and it's not because of how old you are, but you have no idea how much the world is going to evolve, how fast it's going to evolve. That whatever you know now is nothing compared to what you need to know, and to take it very seriously, because this is going to help you with every single decision you make from here on out. Making this one big decision to join the military is going to help every single decision you make, every way that you look at the world, every way that you look at the next person next to you. Take it seriously and learn from it. That's what I would tell myself.
And yeah, and I kind of think too that it just seems like most military folks, you know, just seem like they're, like you said earlier, how they just have that more sense of, I forget exactly how you worded it, but they just have a bigger sense of like what's going on, especially like world affairs and stuff. Not that
Yeah.
we're experts on everything, but it just
Yeah,
seems
of
like
course not.
there's just more broad scope, kind of like, hey, this is what's going on in the world right now, and other people are like, what? Like,
Honestly,
Go
dude, that's how I felt when I went to college.
oh yeah,
I went to college, and you know, it's not that I couldn't learn the material. I know I could have learned the material. I couldn't deal with the type of crowd I was
yes,
learning with.
and
Like,
thank you, bro.
There
That's
was
what
no
scares me.
for them. There was no, like, as she stated, there was no grip on reality. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, these kids are complaining about, oh, I'm just so like, I just don't want to deal with whatever the hell the issue was, and I'm like,
I mean, hell, you go into colleges and they
I
have these
just
designated
had,
safe places now, like
yeah,
where they can just go in there
and I'm
a little
exactly,
cry
yeah,
closet and stuff.
and I'm
Like,
thinking to
okay.
myself, like, dude,
Yeah.
I just came from a war zone where I lost like fucking 7 people. What are you talking about?
You're
Like, they
complaining
don't.
because they put bacon bits on your sandwich and you're a vegan?
Yeah, like, it made zero sense to me, and like the difference in the way they carried themselves and their perspective of the world was just it didn't
Drastically different.
drastically different. It felt like they were living in some other reality compared to what I was, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I just couldn't.
I'm not saying I want
And
to
it has
be
nothing to do with maturity level.
No.
It doesn't. It's just an understanding that this little space that you stay in with your social media, and
that's kind of what it is. It's
there's
blinders.
a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like a horse with blinders on. So something else I wanted to add, just to kind of wrap this whole thing up. You were talking about like mentality of people nowadays. So a friend of mine, and I don't want to say who because I'm trying to respect people and their privacy. A friend of mine just had one of their children go to basic, and they were saying how basic is just so different nowadays because of all the COVID protocols and whatnot. And they're not like, plus like in the Army, I don't know if you knew this, Melissa, but like in the Army, they're not even like having you do a physical fitness test for record while you're in boot camp right now, which I'm just like, what? We did one every damn week, like straight up. Cynthia says that was good advice, by the way. So good job there.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this person, they were saying that they got injured, so they were on a little bit of a med hold, okay, and from there, the trainee went to airborne school. So they started off at a non-combat arms branch basic training, and they went to airborne school, and like you have all these black hats just up in your shit, yelling at you all the time, and they were just like, whoa, huh? Like, and it was a little bit of culture shock. And this friend was telling their kid, it's just like, that's how it was when I was
there
all of those years ago. Like, he's like, I didn't go to airborne school, but like that's the Army that I know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good. And their kid was like, it's not bad because I'm able to go back and I've got people that can kind of help me out because they kind of had to get recycled for something. I think there was like a slight injury or something in airborne school, but just getting in that mentality of like, you're gonna get your freaking head chewed off. You're gonna get as they used to say, you're gonna get your shit pushed in, but you're gonna get yelled at, and it's like, that's good. Have that kind of mentality. Like when Jose was, saying
it teaches you to deal with stress.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And have an understanding that what they think is stressful or what they think is hard
is
not.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
you don't know what's difficult.
Yeah. Right, because we're coddled. Everyone's coddled. Everyone wants to give their children what they didn't have. That's the biggest injustice you can do, because then they don't know how to fend for themselves.
Oh yeah, I give zero fucks about that. I'm like, listen, you're gonna spend more of your life not getting what you want than getting what you want.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'm like, nobody knew me before I put on the mask. I don't know why I just thought of that, but it just seemed like it was a good thing to say right then and there. So it is what it is.
I was born in the darkness, molded by it.
And this is what he does. Like, I do something, and he's got to one up me because he's the master of all voices and all this. So I'm like, dude, I wasn't even trying to talk about this. I'm doing it again. I'm doing the head bobby stuff, like a bobblehead.
I know, but honey, you got a little bit more.
I don't think my neck works like that. I sound like a rotisserie chicken getting pulled apart at Sunday dinner. It's terrible.
It's like you gotta get fluid, and then you gotta do the duck lips.
Oh my god! Like I said, this is gonna be a good one for sure.
That's your friend. Okay, that's your friend.
I'll claim him. It's all good.
Okay.
My mom calls him the Latin lad I never had. So hey, it's all good.
Aww, that is so cute.
It's the best. So, well, Melissa, thank you so much for taking the time to join our show on a Friday.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I did. I was nervous, and
it wasn't as scary as it was. It wasn't as scary as you thought it was.
And you're not even the one that had technical issues. He's the one that had it. Like lightning strike.
Yeah.
Thanks to my techie gamer son, who has like the best state of the art crap. I guess I don't know.
Oh yeah.
You were just personally thanked, Melissa.
There you go. Yeah, Cynthia said thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Our fans are awesome. It's like our fans, followers, the members of the Bro Legion.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
All right,
Yeah,
guys. Well,
baby.
thank you so much for having me. It was a great
Absolutely.
time. And, if you want to ever have me back on to talk about anything else.
Oh, dude, we should get a bunch of the vets involved and just talk about current events.
Yes.
And we'll have them all like on like a big Zoom call, like 10 freaking people, and all vets, and just be, what do you think about this? And we'll just have like an open forum to ask questions. Fucking dope.
You know what? I think it would be better on StreamYard than on Zoom because it's a whole yard.
Well,
So
right.
you could have all the people there. Just saying.
I walked right into that.
And I
shit.
could bring my milkshake.
Just
dude.
My milkshake brings all the voice.
I had to say something.
Oh shit. Well, I got nothing else to
well.
add to that because that would just be taken away from that gem right there. So, Melissa, thank you so much. We appreciate it, love.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you here in a little bit, okay? We're going to wrap up the show.
Sounds good.
All righty. Yeah, that was a good one.
That definitely
a fantastically good one. So
that
was so much better than I knew it was going to be good, but that was like righteously good, man.
Righteous.
You get a couple of people from New York sitting there bullshitting about stuff. It's like, oh yeah, night, Cynthia.
Good night, sis.
So yeah, let's wrap this son of a bitch up. So
let's do it, Mike.
So like we told you at the beginning of the show, we started this as a passion project to bring honor to our friend John, who unfortunately chose to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution, and that is something that we have definitely picked up and kind of taken up as a cause and something that we fight against every single day. It's part of the reason why we do this, and we tell these stories so that we can have other people understand that you're not alone. You're not the only one that went through this. Like Cynthia went through stuff, or I'm sorry, wow, Melissa went through stuff just like we went through stuff, and even though we were in two different eras, she was post Desert Storm, we were 9/11, GWAT type guys. So you can rely on those experiences and bring you closer and whatnot. So in the event, that you are having trouble keeping your head above water, we came up with the Battle Bros code. So very easy to remember.
Bros code, so.
Oh, he's not ready for it. There it is. Hey. So the Battle Bros code is basically just something you can remember to help keep your head on, keep you focused on the mission and whatnot. So we'll go over those right now, like we always do. So be tenacious. Tenacity is one of those skills and attributes in people that is a unique little gem. It's like a diamond in the rough. And when you see tenacity, you're just like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I like this kind of stuff. Whether it's being a parent, whether it's like Melissa being a corpsman in the Navy, going there and doing the best job you can do, being a section leader, being the best service member you can be, being a parent, being a friend or a coworker or whatever the case may be. Do it to the fullest of your ability. Be tenacious. Don't sit there. Oh, what was the I saw a buddy of mine sent me a meme earlier this week that was just perfect. It was Ron Swanson, and it said, "Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing." And it just stuck, dude. I was just like, that's fucking perfect. I got to say that. Whole-ass one thing from Ron Swanson. So, yeah, tenacity, whole-ass one thing.
Yep.
So good.
Isn't that the guy that when he speaks, he's very,
yes,
he speaks like this?
Yes. the actor's name is Nick Offerman.
Yes, Nick Offerman. Okay, that's why.
Nick Offerman. That's why. He's like a studly dude. Like he has like a wood shop and he makes furniture for people. Like he's kind of awesome,
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, good stuff. R refuses to dry mouth. Shut up.
I'm Mac and I have mushmouth.
Mushmouth Mac. I'm just gonna put that for my label next week. Mushmouth Mac. This is Mushmouth Mac. R refuse to surrender. No matter what happens, there's gonna be times where things aren't going your way. Things are not happening as you want them to happen. Okay. Don't give up. Don't quit. Refuse to surrender. That can take a lot of different forms, whether it's just, being persistent, being tenacious. Hey, I think we just talked about that. Holy shit. So just remember that. Don't give up. Things will happen. Just stay the road. I mean, Melissa, like she just said, she just went and got her AA, and she's in her late 30s. She looks a lot younger. But there's no time limit. People say, "Oh, you have to be married by such and such age. You have to be home on it." Oh, shut up. Like, that's crap.
Yeah.
Do it on your own schedule. Refuse to surrender. Do it when it's good for you. Okay. Oh, Muhammad Jihad. Oh, you can't say that and not expect me to answer that, dude. Like, Jesus. We didn't even plan that. That was amazing. Oh, obliterate your obstacles. Like I just mentioned, there's going to be things that happen that get in your way, that slow you down, that stop you from making any progress. That's fine. You're standing in front of a wall. Sometimes you have to climb the wall, flip over the wall, and go down the other side. Sometimes you have to go around it. Sometimes you have to dig under it. Sometimes you got to take some C4 Bangalore's and deck cord and blow that shit to smithereens. That's fine. Do what you got to do. As long as you're making progress and continuing on to hit the objective, the OBJ, the X, whatever the case may be. Okay? So, obliterate your obstacles. Last and most importantly, S. Seek out a friend in time of need. I'm exhausted, dude. It's been a long day. That's why I'm like fucking up my words here. I'm learning English for the first time.
You don't know how to speak English. That's your problem.
Did I mention my name with Mouth Mac? Sorry. Seek out a friend in time of need. As we mentioned, all the time, our friend John, one, I wish that and I probably speak for, Alamo over here, we wish we could have reached out to him and just see how he's doing, check in on him, because he was a friend. He was a guy that, we didn't get to work with him too long, but the times that we had with him were just fucking joyous. They were great.
And it sucks too, because I mentioned this, I think probably episode 1, that I had just spoken to him, I think 2 months prior to
us finding out about what happened.
Yeah, literally just 2 months, and him and I just kind of threw Facebook messages back and forth, and I didn't even know the disposition that he was in at the time. So
I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot to be said for that. You just you see somebody, you talk to them on Facebook once a year. It's like, oh, hey, happy birthday, happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I'm guilty of that myself. That's the reason I bring that up.
Yeah.
But I also wish he would have taken the time to reach out to somebody, because that's important. Humans are social creatures. We're not meant to go solo. That's why people get so messed up when they're in solitary confinement in prison or in POW camp. And they just their mind just starts to go a little bit wonky. So we need that human interaction, and that should be kind of important for everybody.
Of course.
So, in the event that there's something going on in your life, and you need to reach out to somebody, call your friends, call your people, your coworkers. Somebody that you can trust. Don't just call anybody. Call somebody that you are close to. Call somebody you can trust.
Phone it in.
Whatever you got to do. Send a freaking carrier pigeon, or maybe even send a message via a European swallow. Anyway, Monty Python reference. But all joking aside, there are options out there. Call your service members, call your friends, call your family, somebody you can trust, somebody you can call. I can call this guy right here night and day, anytime I need to. And, and there's been times that I have, it's just not right. Something's off. Just feel like crying. Yeah. Whatever the case may be, man, it happens. Okay. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Oh, men don't cry. Bullshit. I've spent a lot of time crying. All right. I'm going to fucking man up and tell you. I've cried a lot before. It depends on what's going on. Okay. Mm-hmm. Especially when I stub my pinky toe on the table. Okay. I'm being serious. I'm sorry. My bad. Bitch. Pretty much. So in the event you don't have anybody to call, there are resources out there. One of them is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Bada bing.
Okay, that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The telephone number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. 8255. There's also another resource that I recently just found out about earlier this week. It's stopsoldiersuicide.org, and I think it's / get help.
I'll add that to the mix.
That thing that Brent has been doing, the 100 miles for to stop suicide. He's been running 5 miles a day for like several times, and his wife's been doing it too, Haley. That's how I heard about it. She was advertising that on her Facebook page and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely add that. That's another resource that we can definitely use. So we'll get that going next week. But
I think I actually might start that myself then, if that's the case. Do a couple miles.
Yeah, you have to do like 100 miles in a month. I'm like, I rucked 5 miles. I could ruck 5 miles a couple times a week. I'm not running. I'm not a runner. No, sir. Anyway, so yeah, like we said.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
As I was saying, I digress. Shut your face.
No.
I love you, but I hate you, or I love you. So just remember, folks, you're not alone. Don't ever think you're alone. I mean, I just saw on the news last night that there was a guy down here in Tampa, I think like Riverview area or something. It ended up being like a murder-suicide. He shot his wife and he shot his stepdaughter, who was in a hospital bed in his home, and then he turned the gun on himself. And he actually called the 911 dispatcher and said, "There's no help for me, so don't worry about showing up here." And it's tragic that people think like that there's no relief or there's no help. I mean, it might not be immediate. You might not have instant gratification or anything, but just know that, like, hey, there's options out there. You never know. So I'm going to turn it over to you, man, and let you plug all the social media stuff.
So if you guys want to contact us on the social medias, or if you'd like to go ahead and find our channel, aka follow / like or otherwise, you can find us first things first over on the Facebook, over at www.facebook.com/battlebros.podcast. You can also find us on the Insta at battlebros_podcast. You can also contact us on the WhatsApp via the Facebook app. All you got to do is click that little WhatsApp link right there on our page. You can actually send us a message or leave us a voice message, however you prefer to go ahead and contact us on that message board. And I promise you, within at least 24 hours, we will get back to you. We try to get back to every message that every message that we get.
I was actually looking at the analytics last night when we were talking. I was looking at the page and I was like, it actually says that we actually do pretty good at that. I'm like, all right, let's keep that up.
Hell yeah. Also, you can catch us on the audio platforms. You can catch us over there on the Anchor. You can also catch us over there on the Spotify. We, as per the usual, always recommend you both share, follow, and subscribe, depending on where you're at, meaning the YouTube, and try and do
or
your
as
best.
Homeboy here says, the Yub Tub.
The Yub Tub. I actually wasn't going to say it tonight, but thank you. But
pour the drink, dude.
Because the YouTube algorithm has changed, please make sure you share that content, that beautiful content that we make for you. Because right now the like button and the follow button.
Are you looking at this guy? Anything. He's a beautiful fucking man, people. Like, come on. Of course he's beautiful. It's like, you got all this going on. Like, yeah.
Also, if you want to catch
I'm just all personality, so whatever.
Also, if you want to go ahead and find us on the Rumble, you can go ahead to rumble.com, where every single video that we do here will be automatically uploaded straight to the Rumble. And
what the hell is Rumble? I've never heard of that before. Is that new?
It's a YouTube competitor. If we start getting enough views on it, they actually will pay us per view. Unlike how YubTub works. So yeah. Also,
bastards.
Yeah. So, but if you want to catch us on the other audio platforms, obviously, like I said, we have Anchor, we have Spotify, but now we also have the newly and must I say, probably more easier to find if you have an Alexa, Amazon. You can find us on Amazon. You can find us on Google. You can also find us on Pocket Cast and Stitcher.
If somebody does that, just be like, Alexa, make me a sandwich and play Battle Bros podcast. I would love to see that video because that would be the coolest thing ever, dude. I would be like, Mr. Alamo, we have arrived.
Yes. Also, if you guys want to throw $1 in that proverbial
to make us holla.
In that proverbial tip jar, you can go over to Anchor. You can support us over on the Anchor app. All you have to do is when you click on our channel, you can go ahead down to the little support button, click that button, and donate whatever you feel like, anything from $1 to $5, or customize your donation. You don't have to, because the sharing is caring, and we definitely like that because that gets the word out there, which is more. If we
ever come up with, like, we talked about it before, Alamo. If we ever come up with like you donate X amount of money, like a tier system, like $1, we give you holla on show. That would be amazing. Because all the military guys would be like, I get it, yeah.
And then awesome. Every single time we get a donation, for example, if somebody donates to the channel while we're live.
Yeah.
It comes.
Hold the phone. We got a donation.
No. Here
we go.
I'm gonna record myself going, "Dollar make you holla," and every single time we get a donation, that's what plays.
It's just automatic. That's great. That's awesome. Now listen, let me just kind of add on to this and double tap this point. We're not trying to say that we're not trying to grub for money, because that's just not who we are. We try to stay. We try to stay, humble to our origins and how we got started and what our message is about. If you would be so gracious to do that, we would be incredibly thankful for it and appreciative. It is not a requirement, but again, that's up to you.
Absolutely.
But the first person that does it will definitely get a shout out from.
You're damn right they will.
So. The last thing that I want to add to before we close out. Just remember, like we said, share, subscribe. The most important part of that is share.
Yes.
You may not need to hear what we're talking about. You may just think this is a show that we talk about some serious shit on a Friday night, and we have a good time doing it. And that we get to. This has been like my best friend of a long time, and we get here and we get on here.
21 years.
21 years, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. 21 years where we've been knowing each other, and we get on here, we talk about some serious stuff, but we have a good time.
Hamming it up, baby.
Hamming it up, but we can, break that stigma of talking about this stuff that has been a little bit stigmatized, and bring this to more people's attention. So you never know that you could start a chain reaction. You could share it with somebody who could share it with somebody who could share it with somebody, to somebody who's thinking about harming themselves, that actually may stop them from going down that path. And if we can save one person, not even the 22 a day that, military veterans that take their lives every day, but if we can stop one person, then you know what? That means that's awesome.
That means the world to us, man.
That absolutely means the world to us,
because we're achieving our job.
And we can never get John back, and we're thankful that we got to spend the time with him that we did. But if we could stop somebody else from going down that route and having to go through what we went through with that, that's important to us. So that's a task that we will definitely shoulder the burden on and just drive on and keep on with it. So, well, now that I got a little bit soapbox preachy for a minute, thank you again to Melissa for being on our show. That interview was fantastic. It was great. I'm really enjoying doing these VIP segments. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And you just get to know somebody in a short amount of time. You're just like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. So again, thank you for accepting our invitation to be on the show. We greatly appreciate it. That was a wonderful experience. Love to hear the story. Especially, what I really enjoyed is just hearing the female perspective of boot camp. And I know it's a little bit funny at times. We kind of got ribbed a little bit. Your sister was giving a shit, and Mel was just like, "You guys don't know. You guys don't know about that kind of stuff.
You don't
know." Her head wasn't bobbing that much, but not only that, just from the perspective of a female, but just in a different era. She was post Desert Storm. We were post 9/11. That's a big difference. There's 5-6 years
gap,
different.
Man.
There's a gap. So, But you and the little lady are doing something next week.
Oh, yes, right, yeah. Next week is our 10th anniversary. So, yeah.
But, hey, man, that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
so.
it is. So we're going to be celebrating that. So, we're probably just going to take a
Take the week
hiatus,
off. Yeah.
just to kind of hang out and, chill and whatnot.
Because let's face it, like putting on a show every week, it can be a little bit of a workload, and it's one that we don't mind doing, but it's a commitment.
Not at all.
It really is.
I love this more. I love this more than my primary job. So,
true fucking story.
Boom. So yeah. It's this really is all a labor of love, man. So I just But,
that being said,
yeah,
labor of love. The labor of love you have with your wife. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. So 10 years.
Damn right.
Congratulations, you and Tish. That's a big accomplishment. You don't see that a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot nowadays. So, we're gonna take a week off, and we'll probably have some social media influence, and I'm gonna try my hand at it. So, I'm gonna be doing some posting and stuff on our Facebook page. So, if there's anything really goofy, yeah, I did it. It's okay. So, until we see you folks, it'll probably be about 2 weeks or so. So, whatever that day is.
It won't be long. We'll be back on the following week.
Yeah, take a week off, and then we're on after that. So we'll see you guys 2 weeks from now. But thank you again for joining us. For the folks for your first time, thanks for stopping by. For the folks that have come back and watched us again, thanks for coming back and hanging with us. We appreciate it. We love you guys.
Damn right.
This is something that is very important to us. So we appreciate everybody that takes the time to watch a video or just even a clip of it and share it along. So. Until we meet again, this has been the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. Thank you so much for joining us on our usual time. We will not be here next week so that this guy can take his wife out and spoil her the way she deserves to be spoiled. And we'll be back after that. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but you know what? That's kind of the fun of it, not knowing where it's going to be. So until then, we will see you soon. And thank you for stopping by. We love you. And take it easy and look out for one another.
Battle Bros out.